evening. As a preliminary matter, this is John Regan, Chair of the Auburn Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members are present. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Duarkesh Nalin.
Present.
Ronald Brooks.
Present.
Jason Assarifi.
Present.
Glenn Feldman.
Present.
Town officials and employees participating, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Town Planner Dr. Adam Menard.
Here.
Staff Assistant Daniel Chamberlain Roberts.
Here.
Good evening. This open meeting of the Town of Auburn Planning Board of Tuesday, September 10th, 2024, now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being conducted as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. For this meeting, the Planning Board is convening in person and by remote access. The remote access information has been posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. Please note that the meeting is being recorded by the Auburn Cable Television. Is there anyone here in the audience tonight that is recording tonight's meeting? Being none. Accordingly, those members of the Planning Board, employees, and members of the public who participate remotely, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Please rise and join us in a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All supporting materials that have been provided to the members of this body are available on the town's website. I would like to remind the audience, applicants, town administration, and each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions in regards to all matters discussed this evening without first being granted my consent. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. First on the agenda tonight is 17 Brook Street, an A&R plan for approval. Anyone here for 17 Brook Street? You just go up and give us your name and address. I know you live at 17 Brook Street. You guys are out of turn. So,
Just your name, your address, please.
It's Gregory Morse, 17 Brook Street.
looks pretty straightforward. You're taking a long lot in the back and dividing it so you have part, and the remaining stays with the original.
Exactly, yep. Yep.
I drove by. You do have a lot of woods behind the house. You can't even see it from the other street.
Yeah, what you don't get appreciation for is back there, it goes down a hill too, so.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions or concerns on the board? Anybody from the audience have any questions or concerns? May I have a motion to approve as submitted?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Glenn?
Aye.
Duarkesh? Ron?
Aye.
Jason? Myself, John Regan, aye. It is a vote. Over here.
Any of the ones. Didn't put a space for a date. I'll on a paper copy. just add today's date,
Oh,
like down there. Yeah, please.
it's two, right? Oh, no.
Here.
Next on the agenda tonight is applicant Elite Real Estate Holdings Company requesting site plan approval under section 3.2.2.3 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a four-unit apartment building at 7 Duncan Avenue, Auburn, Mass. 01501, map 4, parcel 153. This has been continued from our 8/13/2024 meeting. Anyone here representing?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For the record, my name is Donald O'Neill. I'm a lawyer in Worcester here this evening on behalf of Elite Real Estate Holdings Company. Also with me is James Tatro, who is the engineer on the project. You'll recall that we were here a few weeks back. I think at that time we were still waiting for the peer review by Graves Engineering, which we did not have at the time, as to changes that have been made in the plans at their request, and I believe that has been received, and it's my understanding that they have accepted the changes that were made in response to their comments as satisfactory. We also, at the meeting that we were here last, there was a request from the board, I believe, for a lighting plan, which we have prepared and submitted. We've also submitted a additional landscape plan that we didn't have at the last meeting. And I believe we've also submitted fire truck turn analysis, just confirming access through the driveway proposed would be adequate for the fire department. And there were also, I believe, a number of other requests for modifications to the site plan that we believe we've addressed, and I think I would leave it to Mr. Tatro to walk you through the plan and respond to the questions you might have.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, again, James Tatro from Expedited Engineering, representing Elite Real Estate Holdings. As Attorney O'Neill says, at the last meeting, we didn't have the Graves review of the August 5th plans back yet, which has come back. And at the meeting, we were asked to do several things. One was to include a landscaping plan, and there was comment from, I think, both the board and abutters asking that it specifically try to address shielding from some of the neighbors. If you look at the landscaping plan, it's sheet LS4, I believe, in the plan set now. It proposes, I believe it's, I get it, might be one off, I believe it's 13 or 14 evergreens between the existing building and the abutter immediately to the west. It also proposes at the back corner of the property, 22 juniper plantings to address shielding in that area. Also has some additional hydrangea and bayberry plantings proposed up front in the circle between the two driveway entrances, and some plantings right adjacent to the proposed building. We also, as Attorney O'Neill says, we prepared and submitted a swept analysis path plan. What we did there is we used, as we had just done this on another site for the fire department, for specifically for, if I get his rank wrong, he'll be mad at me, Captain Nunemacher. But we had used the exact fire truck that the town of Auburn has is impossible to get on the Auto Turn website. We use basically one just very slightly larger in both length and wheelbase. And we show that you can drive in and out through the site with that vehicle. And as Attorney O'Neill says, we also prepared and submitted a lighting plan, which just shows that a couple of wall pack lights on the building at the door at the entrance and just off from that really won't create any significant light. It won't even do that much on site, but don't light onto abutting properties. And one other quick item is something that was brought up was in regard to trash. And we spoke with the applicant, and what you'll see on the plan, if you look, as you were looking at the building just off the right front corner, you'll see noted about rollout trash barrels to be positioned there. And that is how they propose to deal with trash collection. Again, I believe we have as Attorney O'Neill says, a clean letter from the peer reviewer. I think we've addressed the items that the board and abutters were looking for, but we'll try and answer any questions that you have.
Just to add, there was a few questions that we'd received about the swimming pool last time. We have been in touch with the Board of Health. We have had exchanges with them. Board of Health has confirmed that the property is fenced, and they're satisfied with that. Also we've been made contact with the mosquito control organization. I'm not quite sure what the title of it is, but a mosquito treatment has been scheduled, and they said that, they would be out there at first available date in terms of their schedule. I don't know exactly what that was, but the Board of Health has been consulted and appears to be satisfied with the plan that we've put in place for that. I think the last time here, too, there was a question about what kind of heat the house would have, which is electric. They're going to be heat pumps. We are proposing no additional utilities to be brought into the site. There was a question, I believe, possibly about the sprinkler system. There had been some testing previously done with the water company and with the involvement of, I believe, the town as well. And a sprinkler plan has been prepared, which provides for an additional booster within the building to get the pressure where it would need to be for the sprinkler system. But the combination between what's available on the street and the booster would be sufficient. And if, obviously, you may have some other questions as well, but I think those are the main ones that I recall.
Does the engineer have anything else? Anyone from the audience have anything to say? Please go up to the podium and state your name and address, please.
Hello, thank you, members of the board. My name is Paul Noyes. I'm at a butter at 2 Duncan Ave, and also I own 4 Duncan Ave. I just want to briefly bring you guys up to speed. I wrote a letter to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I've made copies so that you may be able to read it, basically stating the position of myself and the other neighbors. I'll present that to you in just a minute. I also provided pictures where my neighbor Chantal, when she was taking pictures of the fence that was knocked down during the preliminary construction, she captured that there's only 2 power meters on the house. I know that you guys have been saying that it was an existing 3-family, but it's my understanding that if it was a 3-family, you'd have to have a power meter for each unit. And according to these pictures that were taken, I believe it was June 21st, 2021, after they had purchased it, there's only 2 meters. I also was reading online that on Graves, I forget the whole name, but they said that there was no appreciable change to the site. I think some of these pictures, you'll be able to see that the roof line was significantly raised in order to increase square footage. I don't know if that constitutes a significant change or not, but I would like to respectfully ask that no vote take place tonight so that I may collect more information from my neighbors regarding the stone wall that was removed illegally and the water flow that has been flown into Mark and Harley's yard from runoff and stuff. I'm collecting that information. I'm currently trying to contact the town agencies. I too reached out to the mosquito control program about the pool. It is currently still full of water and obviously a breeding ground for mosquitoes. You said that has not been treated yet, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Scheduled, though.
Great, because they stopped taking applications September 1st. So when was that submitted?
I believe it was submitted yesterday, and I saw a response back from mosquito control
Okay.
indicating that they would be out there as soon as.
Okay, because if you actually look at the website for the town of Auburn, they,
I can't respond to
I'm going to stop this right
okay,
here.
okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, according to the website, they had stopped.
Time out.
Yes.
I spoke to the health department. They were either supposed to be there today or tomorrow.
Okay, because being across the street, besides the 2 guys that showed up just this past Saturday to weed whack, there's really been no activity at the house, no real changes or anything that's been done. So I'd like to provide you with the letter that I wrote to the Zoning Board of Appeals and the pictures that I have so that you may take a look. I do have one request. It looks like on your plan, you've misspelled my name. Could you please correct that? Thank you.
As far as the zoning board of appeals, we have no jurisdiction in that part of the town. We only have the site plan, site and drainage plan.
Photos show the 2 meters on the house. And there's, again, some more photos that show how the roof line has been significantly raised.
We can't rule on a roof line. That's the building commission. We're just a site and drainage and sewerage and water. That's it. That's all we can do. Does anybody else in the audience have any questions? No one? Really? Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Steve McGrath, 34 Carroll Street. My property abuts the back over here. I'm just curious where the plantings are going to go in the back and about how tall are those going to become, do we know?
Through the chair, on the landscape plan, you'll see rows of plantings along the line abutting this, with this abutter, and along the line abutting the north side. And there are various juniper trees proposed. I couldn't tell you the exact ending height of those, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. And one of our concerns is just the maintenance of a pool, if that is approved, that will there be maintenance people on property to take care of that? Because it doesn't take very long for a pool to go south if there's not somebody there, like a manager, a property manager. So that's one of our concerns, that if they continue to have the pool, if it's going to be multifamily, will there be lifeguards or somebody monitoring the pool and that sort of thing, just for regular upkeep? Thank you.
Anyone else? Please go state your name, address, please.
Good evening. My name is Mark Rathland. I live at 9 Duncan Street, just to the east of the, butting to the east. And at the last meeting, I had requested some evaluation or information, understanding that there's a well on my property in this location here. And I didn't hear any of that.
Through the chair,
Is that well for potable water, or is it for your sprinkler system?
It's for the house, it's potable water.
Okay.
through the chair, there were actually sort of a couple things which we were seeing were points of discussion at the last meeting. One was in regard to what is the proximity to a wetland? And the answer is that this property, 7 Duncan, is well more than 100 feet from a wetland as identified on the town's and the state GIS. And the other is in regard to, we know the rough position of the abutters well, and this runoff actually would go, let me see, get the directions right, north of it, and then before going north, and then, well, north of it as it heads eastward, and then from near the back corner of the abutter's property, all runoff from his property and this property and others heads northward from there. There's actually an established sort of drainage channel in somebody's property over here, and a drainage pickup, which actually all of this area is draining towards. So I think the bottom line answer is this is not going to his well. It's not that far away from it. That's, stipulated. But there's not wetland within 100 feet, and there's nothing unusual or I think contrary to regulations in how the drainage is proposed relative to the abutter's well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's worried about what's happened to this point with all the silt that's run off that site, because there isn't really a silt fence on the east side of that whole property.
Sure.
So is that a drilled well, or is that a dug well?
Drilled.
You know how deep it is?
I just had the pumps replaced probably 10 years ago.
Over 100?
It's over 100.
So generally, when they do a well, is they drive the casing down, and they get into the well, and then they grout it, so nothing can go in from the top, unless you have a problem with your casing. So nothing should have gone into your well. It must stick above the ground, right?
Yes.
Top of the well, for the wires to come out,
Yes.
and the tubing comes out underground. That'd be the only way we're gonna be, if there was a leak in the casing, because it's all grouted into place. Now, do I know that for a fact? No, but that's general. But you haven't had your water tested, right?
Well, I'm more worried about ground contamination, not necessarily coming into the well, but working its way down into the aquifer.
It's over 100 feet, it'd be tough for it to get that far. Be real tough for it to get that far.
Either way, I'm going to test it.
I understand your concern, believe me, I do. When you have a well, you have a well.
It's the only water supply to our house, because of both town waters and at that property, and then property to the east of us.
Jeez.
So we're right in the middle of where both ends are capped, so.
If there is a problem, the infiltration into the ground of the aquifer, that'd be the health department, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It's a well, it's Board of Health.
That's Board of Health. And then there was a comment out here about the stone wall. That's a civil matter, that's not a planning board matter or a town matter. And there was a woman here last time talking about her fence. That's also a civil matter, it's not a town matter. I met with the town last week with 3 members, and I was informed of that, so I'm just letting you know. Anyone else? Oh, go ahead.
Just one more question. So
I can hear him better there.
So apparently, they're going to start construction whenever approval, or if approval happens, but part of it, or a lot of it, from our concern, is the silt fence along this whole line here. And it's, right now, if you go look at the silt fence, it's very superficial. And you can actually look underneath it. So anything that would flow down, so I don't know if it's the planning board that,
That's Conservation Commission, but I can tell you from experience, that silt fence is supposed to be buried 3 to 6 inches. It's supposed to have a straw wattle on the side of their property before the water gets to the, or hay bales, before it gets to the silt fence.
that doesn't exist. Well, it partially exists, to be
The
honest.
fence exists, but if it's, you can see underneath it, it doesn't exist.
You can see underneath here, then there's some bales of hay that are very old, and then there's another space. Like I said, it's haphazard at best.
That would be the Conservation Commission, but they will be informed of it, I'm sure, of that problem. That's all, once they get all their approvals and they can go ahead, they have to do that before they can do anything. They have to do all the erosion control before they can do anything, other than mow the lawn, basically. You're welcome. Anyone else from the audience? Come on back up.
Just, I know last time we were talking about the aesthetics of the building and having it match the neighborhood. I was wondering if there was any information regarding that, of how it would be constructed to not be an eyesore to the neighborhood.
That is the building commission. Do you want to come up and say something? Please do.
I'm Monica Hamilton McCarthy at 24 Carroll Street. There was concerns last time about the amount of cars and the parking. Can you talk a little more about that, and also what the lighting in the front of the structure is going to be? We're right across from it.
I can tell you with the parking, they have 8 spaces. The state only requires 6.5 for 4 apartments.
So when inevitably all of the people, the hype, the people that might actually move in have people over, where do they park? They don't have to address that?
I don't know where they'd park. Because I know the street's not wide enough to handle a row of cars. Please back up there, please.
Experienced the previous owners, I know exactly where they're going to park, and it's this greenway here that is going to be where the runoff is. It's wide enough for a car, so this here has been parked for the last 30 years. They have parked there. So that's where it's going.
Anyone else? Being none, oh, you have one? Please do.
Paul Laramie, 8 Buttonwood, which is directly across from Duncan Street from the property, down the bottom there. So, with regard to the study that was done with the fire department for the turn radius, if there is excess cars in that lot, does that still maintain enough space for?
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
Through the chair, the swept path analysis plan shows a vehicle, the town's big truck coming into the site and going out. And we can't have any part of the way this thing draws it, you see a red line, which is sort of the center of the front of the truck. And you see green lines, which are the outside corners of the truck. And you can't have any of the green lines, the outside corners, pass over curbs or parking spaces or anything which would be an obstruction. Now, obviously, in times like right now, you could get over a curb, but what if this, it was passing through in wintertime and there was a snowbank. So
My
that's what
question-
that plan shows, is that you can get the truck in and get the truck out and without going over either parking spaces or curbs.
My
Okay,
question
so
would be,
having lived there for many years now, I can tell you, people staying in those spaces and not parking behind one another, I've never seen that happen. That's just what I want you guys to take a look at that.
my question would be, where's the fire truck gonna hook up? There is no hydrant.
I'm sure they can run right across my property to the hydrant right there.
Way down the end of Buttonwood?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next one's over on Lincoln Street.
As noted earlier, again, there is going to be, the building will be sprinkled, which will obviously help.
Anyone else before I move to the board? Being none. Glenn, do you have any questions?
Yes, what is the total occupancy of the building itself?
Currently, it's recognized by the town as a three-family. We're proposing a fourth unit, but that is, of course, subject to zoning board approval.
Yeah, they don't need zoning board.
Anything else, Glenn? Rakesh?
Mr. Tater, so I think looking at our last discussion, we did talk about you raised something about pre-development stormwater drainage, and so we asked for a study on the pre-development versus post-development drainage, stormwater drainage study. Is there anything you can provide on that?
I would just note that, that Graves Engineering was satisfied with our description of what constituted the pre-development using the aerial photos of the site before the applicant's ownership.
I see, okay.
Anything else, Rakesh?
I didn't see, so in the site plan, I didn't see an ADA parking. Is there a requirement here? It's not. I see. No other questions.
Ron?
Yeah, I mean, whatever I've seen, the site's got so many things wrong with it. And whatever I've seen, it looks like a shallow attempt at most everything they've done. The silt fence that the neighbor over here talked about, the pool not being addressed, and that was of a concern. It's at a time when that should have been addressed immediately because of the mosquito condition that we've had. And, the fire trucks, and as the guy said, the construction vehicles have a problem going in. And I just don't like it. I would not be in favor of allowing a fourth apartment at all.
Is that it, Ron? Anything else? Jason?
The only thing I have is a little bit of light pollution coming off of the south west corner. Can you talk to that? I see that you have some wall-mounted lights.
What does,
What would be causing that light pollution at the end? Is it
Oh, just for a second.
I'm just trying to save everybody a headache. 'Cause the neighbors don't want the light. It's gonna save you a headache down the line. So
Supposed to be 0-foot candles at the property line.
yeah, so, like, even though it's slight, I just want to understand what's causing that.
It's right at 0.2 at the very, as you say, is at the very southwest corner. You've got 0.1 just into the street, 0.0 in the middle of the street. I'm not sure exactly why that is stretching quite that far. I don't know if he's capturing other effects in the course of this, but
That'd be my only question. I don't know. Are there street lights out there? Or, no.
Oh, it's a dark street. How many exterior lights are going to go on the building? 3?
There's 2 proposed here. Luminaire, it's a very long model name, but a Luminaire wall-mounted light fixture. And there's one proposed to the right of the main entrance, And there's one proposed basically in the middle of that, I say the forwardmost projection of the building. Probably just moving that one in the middle a few feet to the right would address that, get us down to zero at the property line. I think he was just being artistic and putting in a nice symmetric position, but he probably should have seen his result and pushed it over just a couple feet.
Well, you have to do something about the projection past the property line for the light, because it can't go past the property line. You're in the street. Granted, in the middle of the street, it's zero, but still in the street past your property line, it's 0.1.
I know it's minimal, but.
It needs to be corrected. That needs to be corrected. Anything else, Jason?
I'm good.
So, from what I've been told, there's been an orange fence placed around the pool temporarily to ward off anybody trying to get in the pool. The mosquito control was supposed to be there today or tomorrow. How true that is, I don't know, but that's what I was informed by the health department tonight. And then will you show your rolling garbage cans to go out to the curb? You don't need 4, you need 8. You have to have a recycling bin for every apartment. So that needs to be corrected. And then as far as the hoops you gentlemen still have to jump through, as far as the sprinkler system, you can't take the sprinkler system off of the potable water. It has to have its own separate line. As far as I know, that's a 2-inch line coming up from the east, and I know it's a 2-inch line coming down from the west from Carroll Street, because Carroll Street is a 2-inch from Lincoln Street all the way to the end. So I don't know how, I know you can put a pump on it, but there's probably going to be tanks that need to be put in there, and that's with the fire department and plumbing department, correct?
Yeah.
My curious, if there's tanks and you have a sprinkler system, during a fire, you have a pump on the tanks that's going to facilitate the sprinkler system to work. How long does it take to recharge that tank to keep that sprinkler system going? That'd be my question. But that's for the plumbing department and
Fire.
fire department. Okay, I have no, other than the lighting, I have no problem or no comments on graves. They're the pros, so, but other than that, you still got to go through Concom, you still got to go through the building, you still got to go through DPW, you still got to go through the water department, you still got to go through the sewer department, fire department, and the Board of Health. Right now, just in case no one knows in the audience, they have no valid permits right now. They have no valid permits, no valid permits. So they can't start work, but they can maintain. Like cut the grass, put the, safety is utmost, especially when you have kids in the neighborhood. When did you take the picture? Today? It's an orange fence from what I've been told. The building department?
So the commission was,
Yeah. The building commissioner inspected the fence. He's satisfied with it as a temporary.
I don't want to go through your phone.
No problem at all, no problem at all.
That's what I expected. As far as the building commissioner, he's satisfied with that as a temporary means.
And the reason being, it takes effort to actually get across that. Even.
Yeah, but again, this was just done recently. This, up until
Yeah, but they can't put a new fence in around the pool, a chain link fence, they don't have any permits. They can't do anything till they jump through all these hoops. One's the zoning board, one is us, and like I said, they still gotta go through Concom for all the silt fence and all that, and the wetlands next door. They gotta go through the building commissioner, they gotta go through the DPW, the water department. What their pressure tests were for the fire sprinkler, I don't know, it's out of my realm. Sewer department, make sure that's the proper size sewer coming out of there. So I know back in the 70s, a lot of people put in 4-inch. No one does that anymore, it's 6-inch minimum. The fire department for the sprinklers and the board of health for everything. They still gotta go through all that. So it's not like their site plan is approved by our peer review and their PEs. So when we approve, or if we approve the site plan tonight, they can't just go start working. They got a lot of stuff to do. Just so you know, just to make everybody aware. And I'm sure you guys are aware of that too. Correct? Okay. Any other questions from the audience? Do the representatives have anything else to put in for input?
No, I think we're all set unless,
Anybody from the board, Duarkesh?
So, Mr. Tatro, so I'm looking at the peer review. I don't think the question about the stormwater drainage study is addressed in the peer review. That's because I don't see any specific description on that or a discussion on the pre versus post development, so.
Sure. In our drainage report, we told the peer reviewer and said in the drainage report that the way that we have described what is the pre-development condition is using aerial photographs of the site before the applicant took ownership. And again, that was what the peer reviewer reviewed as the pre-development condition. He doesn't specifically talk about it, you're correct, in his letter, but that is what he reviewed.
He acknowledged that the Arm Stormwater Management regulations were met on number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7 with Graves. Being that we are where we are, may I have a motion to approve the site plan?
Close.
Oh, that's right. May I have a motion to close the hearing?
Move to close the hearing?
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, Glenn?
No.
Close the hearing.
meeting, yes.
Rakesh? Ron?
Aye.
Aye.
Myself, John Reed, is an aye. Now, could I have a motion to approve the site plan only with these conditions, that they still have to go through Concom, the building commissioner, the Department of Public Works, the water department, the sewer department, the fire department, the Board of Health, and 4 recycling bins to go along with the trash.
I want to offer a friendly amendment to also include the correction of the lighting plan.
Okay, correction of lighting plan.
I move to approve the plan with the stated conditions.
May I have a second? Oh, what do I do?
You can keep it open then. You can close it out with more information you need.
So I got to move to reopen the hearing.
So you're not going to make a vote. Going to make a vote.
We have to make a vote one way or the other.
Make a new condition, new motion.
To,
I don't know, they're the ones that are,
this has never happened before, folks. This never happened. I've been here 6 years, this never happened. We couldn't get a vote.
Can we make a motion to deny?
yeah,
We should be.
Yeah?
I'll make a motion to deny this site plan.
Second that?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Nay.
Nay. Nay. 84, right?
no,
Just 3?
right. Okay,
Is that right?
Yep.
I don't know where we go from here, but
yeah, because I could, We'll talk offline and see what line of legal issues we
Okay.
can make.
So I got denied here tonight, gentlemen.
I guess I should say thank you, but I would just point out that, people are complaining about the condition of this property. I've been in contact with town council, also with the building inspector. We came up with a plan to move it forward so that it's been dead in the water for a couple of years. This is part of that process would be to request from them for us to apply for the site plan approval, which we've done. We have an approval from your peer review. There's nothing wrong with this plan. Nobody's asking the planning board to approve 4 units. That's not before you, and you have no jurisdiction over that. And what we're asking you to do is to approve a plan for a parking lot with landscaping and lighting that satisfy all of the conditions, in your regulations. I guess this will mean litigation for the town. And we'll be back at some point after the court directs you to apply your own rules and regulations and approve this plan. Thank you.
No talking out of school here. You're going to talk, you got to come up to the microphone like he did. That being said, next on the agenda is applicant Dr. Syed M. Ali Tahir requesting site plan approval under section 3.2.3.7 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for cemetery at 0 Cemetery Road, Auburn, Mass. 01501, map 3, parcel 54, continued from our 8/13/2024 meeting. They requested a continuance to our next meeting. May I have a motion to approve their continuance?
I move to continue.
Second.
All those in favor? Glenn?
Aye.
Rakesh? Ron?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, Jeremy, and I, is a vote. Next on the agenda is applicant J.P. Morgan requesting special permit and site plan approval under section 3.2.5.11 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a bank with drive-through at 368 Southbridge Street, Auburn, Mass. 01501, map 33, parcel 81, continued from our 8/13/2024 meeting. May I have a motion to continue?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
Second it.
All those in favor, Glenn?
Aye.
Rakesh?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, myself, John Regan, and aye. Applicant CMS LLC, care of Henry Reisenkopf, requesting a special permit and site plan approval under section 3.2.5.3 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a coffee shop and other site improvements at 602 Southbridge Street, Auburn, Mass. 01501, map 56, parcel 148. They have requested a continuance to our next meeting. We have a motion to continue this.
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, Glenn?
Aye.
Rakesh?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aye.
Myself, John Regan, and I. Other business, there's no discussion, no modifications, no decisions, no minutes, no unforeseen business by the chair. Member town planner update?
No.
Okay. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second? Have a
Second.
All those in favor, Glenn?
Aye.
Rakesh? Ron? Jason? Myself, John Regan, and I. The meeting is now adjourned.